I always thought it would be cool if you could go back and listen to the day-to-day of today's highest achievers as it happened, as opposed to 30 years later after they've made it. I believe there's a giant disconnect between ground zero and the top floor because we only see the top floor and the top floor only talks about the top. How valuable would that be? And so it goes without saying, but I believe I'll make it there. And this is the documented journey through each level. My name is Bryson Sessions, and you are listening to the Bed Podcast.
Oh, today's been shit, man. I've kind of had some writer's block, if you want to call it that, with what I'm working on. Because I'm not sure what else that I would like to, work on, because I don't know the exact direction. I wouldn't say direction. I don't know the exact, I don't know. So what I'm working on literally right now is I have this super nice spreadsheet going, and so you put in your weight, your height, all that stuff, figures out what your BMR is, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is how many calories you burn just living life, just simply being alive, and then your TDEE, which is total daily energy expenditure, which is your BMR plus things that you're doing in the day. So that might be walking to work, that might be hitting the gym, that might be you have a very active job, like you're a FedEx driver and you beat packages up all day. That might be, you going to get the mail. Every single thing that you would do on a day-to-day basis, that's your total daily energy expenditure, which is how many calories you burn per day. And that's the number that you use to figure out how much you should be eating based on your goals. And so I've got all of that in a big, humongous calculator form, and it actually pumps out, and this is the coolest part, I'm not exaggerating whatsoever, but it pumps out 100 different options to choose from based on your goals. So there's 20 different options you can choose from if your goal is to just maintain. So it varies the protein, the fats, the carbs in 20 different options and ratios. So you can choose one that fits best for you. Obviously the ones that have, for example, more protein and lower fats, or what am I thinking of? I'm thinking so for building muscle, obviously the ones that are better would be the ones that have higher protein and a lower fat, so you can have more carbs. Or if that doesn't work for you, it's okay. Maybe it's really hard for you to get that much protein. You can choose one that has the lowest amount of protein. It's not the best for building muscle, but you can choose that one. And that one maybe has a little bit higher fat, and that one maybe has lower carbs. So for someone who might be new to trying to eat healthy, that one, for the time being, might be the best option for you. So I'm not saying that these are 20 optimal options to choose from. These are just options to choose from based on where you're at, based on your goals, based on how fast you're trying to get there. And so why I say that is because there's maintenance, there's 20 options. And then there's steady fat loss. There's 20 options for that. Then there's aggressive fat loss. There's 20 options for that. So there's 40 total options you can choose from when you want to pursue the fat loss goal. And then same with building muscle. There is 20 options you can choose from that explain or that show. There's my microwave because I got food. I got 20 options that show a steady weight gain. And now I'm not calling it muscle gain because you're not going to gain a pound of muscle per week, but you will gain a pound of weight. Now, obviously when you're trying to build muscle, it's inevitable that you gain fat. That's just part of the game. You can do it extremely lean, but I personally don't ever do that. I've never done that. And so it's not something that I would want to teach. So that's not why it's on my calculator. Or there's aggressive weight gain, which is 2 pounds per week, which I'm more toward the 1 pound per week range. But maybe if you're stuck at a plateau and you're not gaining weight, period, that might be the option for you. So anyway, there's 20 options for each. So we have 20 options for maintenance, and there's 20 options for steady fat loss, 20 options for aggressive fat loss. And when I say aggressive, I just mean 2 pounds instead of 1 pound. Because anything more than that, I don't believe in. I don't believe that's sustainable. I don't believe you can stick to it long term. And I don't believe the results will stay because you're going to be in such a drastic deficit that you're going to screw yourself over long term. And if you don't believe me, that's why half of America is obese, because actually there's so many studies that show that people are great at losing weight, but they're not great at keeping that new weight after they lose it. So everybody's great at losing 50 pounds, but nobody can stay losing 50 pounds. They always gain it back. So that's why I do not do anything above 3 pounds or above 2 pounds per week. I just don't think it's sustainable. And that's begins and ends there. So anyway, 20 maintenance, 20 steady fat loss, 20 aggressive fat loss, 20 muscle gain, 20 aggressive muscle gain, which is weight gain. So there's 100 options that you can choose from based on what your goals are. And they're all, here's the beauty of it. All of the maintenance goals, or the options, they all produce the same exact result. They give you the same exact calorie count for the day. I mean, they vary within 10 to 20, but it's not gonna kill you. And it gives you all of that in bite-sized form. So you just look and say, okay, I need 150 grams of protein, I need 200 carbs, and I need 75 fat. That's what I'm rolling with. Or you can look at another one and be like, you know what, actually, it's really easy for me to get protein in, so I'm gonna up that to 190. And because my protein went up, something has to come down, so maybe that'll be my fat. So I'll drop my fats down to 65, and then the rest will go to carbs. And you don't have to do any math. It's all there for you. It's all there. So that's cool. So it's very simple to look at. And so every single option produces the same exact result. All you have to do, and you, the person that's listening, if you're interested, all you have to do is figure out how tall you are, and pretty much everybody knows that. Figure out how old you are. Everybody knows that, I hope. And then if you're male or female, and yes, those are the only two options. Fucking unbelievable, I know. And then there's the weight, height. Yeah, the weight, height, age, gender, and then generally how active you are during the day. And there is about 50 different examples to choose from, or I guess to look at for reference to figure out which activity level best fits you. And so when you plug all this in, okay, so what you have to do, the person listening right now, all you have to do is put your age, weight, height, gender, and activity level. That's all you have to do, and you're done. After that, it pumps out the 100 options you can choose from, and you can look and see which one you want to go with. And another thing that's beautiful about all of this is you don't have to stick with it. You can pick one option, so maybe option one with high protein, high fat, low carb, maybe that's better for you, and you can stick to that, because at the end of the day, all that matters is that you can adhere to the program that you're following. If you can't stick to it longer than a week, and you go back into your old ways, that's a shitty option for you to choose. So the best option, no matter how, I guess, the most optimal on paper methods don't work if you can't stick to them. So maybe a very subpar method works best for you, but because you're able to stick to it and you're able to get results long term forever, and you never go back to your super skinny or super obese self, which whatever direction you're coming from, that subpar method, it becomes the best for you because it's the one you can stick to. So all that being said, if you choose something that's high protein, high fat, low carbs, for example, but that doesn't work, you can switch to a different option, and that will be the same exact result. I mean, so I don't want to say same exact, because obviously there's very important factors. For example, if you have more protein in your diet, that's, I would say, generally better than if you had less. But I'm not here to debate anything. It's just an option to choose from. So if that doesn't work for you, then you can switch to a different option that maybe it has low protein, low protein, high fats, high carbs. And when I say low, nothing goes below 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you'll never eat less than 80 grams of protein. And if you weigh 200 pounds, you'll never eat less than 160. And believe me, I fucking promise you, if you're listening and you're like intimidated by that number, I promise that getting 160 grams of protein per day is so simple. For example, I just cooked 8 ounces of ground turkey and I think 10 ounces of sweet potato with some peppers and shit. This has about 50 grams of protein. So if I have this and then I have a double scoop of protein, because that's super simple, everybody can do that, I'm already 2/3 of the way there. And that's maybe 5 hours into my day. So that means I still have about 11 hours to get in 50 more. It's so fucking simple. Anyway. So going back to what I was saying, you can pick and choose which option you want to go with. And if that one doesn't work for you, you can pick another one and change up your macros. And you don't have to do any fucking math whatsoever. All you have to do is look at the numbers that are there and then track. And that's something I believe in wholeheartedly. So if you're not into tracking what you eat, I can't help you, because that's exactly what I believe in. I believe that to be the best, most efficient way to I guess progress. And if you get to a certain point in your journey where you can eat intuitively, which I don't even know if I believe in that shit, then I guess you could go for that. And the reason why I don't necessarily believe in that is because you just never know, like the weight. You never know how much you're eating. You never know. You just don't know. You can be very close. But I mean, if we're talking like the Compound Effect book by Darren Hardy, one guy eats about 200 calories less than the other guy, and in the span of 20 years, he's much thinner than the guy that was eating 200 calories more. It's just a little bit. It's just a tiny bit every day, So anyway, so that's what I'm working on. And I've gotten all of that produced, laid out, it looks like shit, so that's not done. But I don't want to make it look pretty and then be like, you know what, I should have added this thing. And then I got to go back and undo everything and put it back in it, So I've literally just been sitting up on my desk, kind of staring at it like, what the fuck can I do? So I was like, okay, I'll just pause on this. I'll come back. I'm going to work on something else. And I kind of made a list of things that I wanted to work on in the order that they should be completed. And I'm trusting myself that this is what I need to do, but I put on there that I need to finish everything I'm doing with this workout subscription plan. Here's the idea, and it's very loose. It's a very loose idea, so it could change in 5 seconds. I don't know, but I'm just going to document because that's the whole point of this podcast. So the idea was to make the workout subscription, get that all finalized, get that ready to go so that somebody could sign up like that and get going. And then start pumping out Your New Norm, the episode 1 of the podcast, which would encompass a lot of what this show has talked about already. So it'd be kind of a summary up to this point. It would be a ginormous intro to me, who the fuck I am, and why you shouldn't listen to me, or why you should, And kind of about every introductory episode to a podcast is always lame as fuck. So it's my goal to have it not be that, but there does need to be an episode that explains everything, despite how maybe boring it might be. So I don't know. We'll figure that out. I'm not really too worried about that because we just got to start, right? Episode 1 of this show is literally called Just Start. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah, I'm up there just not really sure what else I can work on, because here's the shitty thing. So it was brought to my attention that rather than just running this all through an Excel spreadsheet and then emailing a PDF to somebody, I can get a software that would automate a lot of things and also make the user experience for the person who is subscribed to the thing much more enjoyable, much more appealing, much easier, with a lot more bonuses. All they have to do is download an app. I run the app. It costs me money to run the app, which is the downside because your boy's making $0, But I believe that as long as I would be able to convince one person a month to subscribe to what I got going on, then I would be able to just zero out every month, because the software would cost, I think it's like $60 a month. And if I do this and I start doing this and I don't get anybody that subscribes for the first year, then that's pretty shitty, dude, because I just dropped $360 or what? 700. Wait, whoa. Can I not do math? $720. Yeah. 720. Is that right, bro? $60 a month, right? 10 months, 600. Yeah. 720. I feel like that's wrong. So yeah, there goes $720 for the first year, just gone. So I don't want to do that because money at the moment, as far as business goes, is tight as shit. So, I refuse to not work a FedEx shift because I think it was episode think it was 209, where I talked about all the 4 keys to success for me at this point in time. And FedEx is number 1 because, or number 2 or 3. It's in the top 4 of the 4 that I have, because that's going to give me the additional money to run everything. And if I don't work FedEx, then that drastically slows me down, and I don't want that. So I can't remember where I was going with that whole train of thought there, but yeah, I'm never not going into FedEx. Like it's absolutely required, and so no matter what, I'm there. I was also thinking about that the other day. I was just crunching numbers, and educationally, it's much smarter for me to quit that and go find another job that allows me to learn and get paid to do so. But financially, there's no other job that can pay me what FedEx does for the time I'm there. And nothing's changed, but every other Sunday I get paid $33 an hour to go clean trucks. So I do that for 6 hours. And then when I work a normal driver shift, I get $170 no matter what, even if I deliver 1 stop and go home, or if I deliver 135, and it's up to 135 stops. That is, I get that same amount of pay no matter what. Then every single stop I do above 135, I get $1 extra. No matter if that's an envelope, no matter if that is a king, queen, full, and twin size bed set, all in one with a triple decker shelf with a bed frame that weighs 5 million pounds, I still get $1. Even if it's on the 18th floor with no elevator, I still get $1. So after that, after everything after 135 is $1. And typically I've been doing 175 to 200-ish lately. So that allows me to get about $30 to about $65 extra on top of the 170. So if you want to average it out to like 40, that would be $210 per day. Plus, which is cool, I just found out about this, but they check the cameras when I'm driving. And if they see me not wearing my seatbelt, I forfeit a safety bonus of $15 for the day. But if I am, then I pass, I get $15 as a safety bonus for the day. So if you want to say what the average is 225, that'd be the average. So 225, and I never work longer than 8 hours. Rarely ever do I, as far as drive time. If you want to count me getting into the station and then spending a half hour waiting, and then the drive time back from, if you want to count all that, then it's probably like 8.5, but we'll just say it's 7.5 because that's usually the longest. So we'll just say it's 8 for easy. So it's 225 divided by 8. So it's $28.12 an hour. And that's I'll say a slower day. So if I get done in 6 hours, then obviously with the same amount, then obviously that changes and we're at $37 an hour. And obviously I want to work as less as possible, but this job definitely gives me money that I need. So unless there's another job out there that pays $30 an hour, 8 hours a day, weekends only, where I can also learn, then but I could just be a risky motherfucker and just quit altogether and go find some sales job and then bank on commissions. But I don't know. I actually haven't even thought about that, but that is an option. So anyway, I say all that because that's absolutely necessary to get this next part of my goals achieved. And honestly, I can't even remember why I dove into all this shit. I have no idea. So if I repeat myself, then unsubscribe, don't listen. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, I'm just sitting up there in my room. I'm not sure what to work on. So I'm looking at the list of things that I wrote and entrusting myself that would be finishing this. So I guess this is what I got to do. And I'll just have to figure it out. So I'll have to get the software up and running, figure that out, get it all organized, nice and pretty, put all my shit in there, and then have that ready so that it's there and I can say that I have something. So if you do want to support and help out with the end goal, then you're more than able to do that. So, and I don't know prices. I know I've been saying it's $5 a month, but if I'm being realistic, it's probably going to be closer to like 9 or 10, I don't know, 12, something like that. And that's only because it's gotta make sense for me as well, especially so early on. I I can't just be giving away all this. Not that I can't give away things for free, but I can't be paying for something on the back end and then give that away for free. So if I'm paying almost $1,000 a year to give something away for free, I can't do that. And I don't, right now, I can't do that. Maybe in the future I will, because I think it's fucking cool. If I can provide someone something like that for free, that's badass. But right now, it would have to be something like, $9, $10, $11, $12 a month. I don't think it would ever go past 20. I just don't think there's enough value in that to be that. Maybe as I grow and develop and shit, and there's more, I don't know. Well, that's a whole other thing, but yeah, I think that's what I wanted to talk about. So we'll just call it there. It's just what burns me out is not knowing what I need to work on next. Like I'm sitting up there in my room, like, what the fuck am I even doing? And then I was laying on my floor and I was like, dude, what if I just call it early tonight, dude? And I just went to bed, got some nice deep sleep, nice long rest, and I just went to bed. And I was like, nope, because you got to record a podcast. You got to write about it too. You got to eat a shit ton of food still. You got to drink about 20 ounces of water. You ain't done, And then I thought, okay, well, then this is obviously what matters most, because these are the days where I fuck all, I'm good. But these are the days I think that matter most, because this is when somebody else in the world is quitting. This is when somebody else is throwing in the towel. And this is when somebody else is like, oh, fuck all this, dude. I'm going to bed, But, so I think days like this, if you want to just make a hypothetical and say that this day happens for everybody in the game, and those who fail, they take a step back, or they lose 10 squares on a board or whatever the fuck. But the people who keep on going, me, I just widen the gap between me and the next guy. And so now instead of being, for example, instead of there being 10 million people on this square on the board, now there's only 9 million. So because I didn't give up, and I'm not going to. So all I have to do is just keep on keeping on, and I'll be all right. So let's mute this before I get a copyright. So I don't really know what else to say. And the reason why this isn't recorded on the nice mic is because I was downstairs and I wanted to start recording. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to push it off any further. So 7:30 p.m. or 7:28 p.m. It's May 28th, 2024, Tuesday. And that's the show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to catch up, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's BRQUSE. And you can follow me there. As of right now, there's nothing going on with Instagram. I got to hop on the social media train again. But yeah. Also, we hit 100 followers today. 100. Also, real quick, something's coming down the pipeline pretty quick. And I'm going to get the live stats right now. So I have 942 downloads today. So that means we have 58 more to go, and we're at 1,000 downloads. That's absolutely incredible. So I'm very happy about that. And am I going to do anything special for 1,000? No, it's just, no. I'll make a post about it, but that's it. My first 1,000, man, that's cool. Also, I figured out that if I were to run I think it's like a 5 to 10 second ad on every episode at the start or midway or something like that, a dynamic one, which means it might be random. It might be about Toyota. It might be about some face cream or whatever. And I don't like the idea of running those kinds of ads on the show, but this is just an observation. If I were to do that with 1,000 monthly downloads, that would allow me to start making income from the podcast, which is pretty cool. And it's nothing significant at all. It's less than $1 a day. It's $25 a month-ish. If I keep up 1,000 per month. Now here's the cool part. I was doing some millionaire math, right? That's what they call it. So if I get 1,000 downloads a month, it's $25 a month. If I get 4,000 a month, that's $100 a month. So cool. If I get 40,000 downloads per month, then I get about $1,000 in income. Now if I have 400,000 downloads per month, then I'd be raking in 10 grand per month. So now we're talking, right? And then if I got 4 million downloads a month, which if you want to average it out over 30 episodes, we got 4 million divided by 30. So I just need 133,333 people listening to every show. And that's a fuck ton of people, and we'll get there. But until then, or I guess when that happens, then I'll be making, I will have the opportunity to make $100,000 per month, simply just based on running some ads on the show and sharing my journey as I go. So that's really cool to think that I can monetize the documentation process of all this. I have different views on ads. I think ads are fine as long as it's stuff I'm into or stuff that somehow relates to what's going on, you know? But I don't like when ads run on 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 minutes per episode multiple times. I fucking hate that. And I also don't like big, long intros that are the same exact shit or like this. Honestly, it's like Andy Frisella's podcast, Real AF. He doesn't run ads, period, but the first 2, 3, 4 minutes of every single show is the same intro. And I get why he does that. And he's got a different thing going on. And so I understand, but it's still the same principle of there's 4 minutes of shit that I got to skip through, you know, to get to what I want to listen to. So I'm kind of mixed with that, but yeah, so that's the whole idea with that. So anyway, I'm going on way too long. I talked about way too many things in this show. So trying to recap, talked about not really knowing where to go, talked about what I'm working on at the moment, talked about FedEx and how it's so important, talked about the podcast and the income and how I'm almost at about 1,000 downloads. So that's, yeah. So anyway, that's the show now for real. So if you want to catch up, I always say catch up, bro. Fuck. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's BRQUSE. And again, it's May 28th, Tuesday, 7:32 p.m., 2024. Talk to you guys later.
Hey, thanks for listening, and quick reminder here. So this podcast doesn't prioritize professionalism or quality at all. It's just meant to be a shoot from the hip type podcast with the intent just to get a quick message out. So some episodes might be inaudible in 30 seconds and others might be 45 minutes and super crisp sounding. So all these are being made so that by episode 7,305, which is 20 years, we can come back and see the entire playbook of how I made it to wherever I'm going. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.